You cannot practice accounting unless you understand the basic accounting equation. It's something you're going to carry with you your entire career once you understand it, and it's actually really simple. I'm John, a CPA, and today we're going to break down the basic accounting equation. The basic accounting equation is assets equals liabilities plus equity. There's three categories up top, and under that, we have a bunch of accounts. For example, if we just look at assets, under that we might have cash, inventory, or equipment. On the right side of the equation, under liabilities, we might have accounts payable or notes payable. Under equity, on the far right side of the equation, we might have retained earnings, common stock, or treasury stock. These accounts roll up into the categories above, so your assets, liabilities, or equity. The basic accounting equation is something you're going to see on your balance sheet, and it ties together. It always needs to be in balance, and it'll zero out. So what does that look like? On the balance sheet, we might have assets for $100,000, liabilities for $25,000, and equity for $75,000. If you were to sum these three together, it's going to sum to zero. When it sums to zero, you know that the equation is in balance because assets equal liabilities plus equity. Under equity in the basic accounting equation, it can break down even farther to paid-in capital and retained earnings. Retained earnings breaks down one more level. At that level, dividends, revenue, and expenses make up retained earnings. So again, if you were to collapse dividends, revenue, expenses up into retained earnings, add that with paid-in capital, then that would give you equity. So how can you use the basic accounting equation? Well, if we go back to debits and credits, you should know that for a transaction, the transaction needs to balance. You might hit the cash account with a debit, and then on the corresponding other side of the transaction, there needs to be a credit for an equal amount. You need to use the basic accounting equation in practice. Honestly, for a lot of accountants and CPAs, it becomes second nature. Okay, before we wrap up today, I just want to recap on what we've learned. The basic accounting equation, assets equals liabilities plus equity, always needs to be in balance. This should be your biggest takeaway. The next point is that there's always a dual nature to the basic accounting equation. So if you make a transaction and you debit assets on the left side, there needs to be a credit on the right side for a corresponding amount. The last point I just want to recap is that on the balance sheet, everything should net to zero. If you can just remember those 2 to 3 points on the basic accounting equation, you're going to have this lesson mastered. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those, and I'll see you in the next video.